All right, let's jump right in. We're about to explore one of the biggest fault lines in all of physics. It's a fundamental clash of ideas, a real battle of titans, sparked by something we see every day: light. You just don't expect to hear words like this from a scientist like Albert Einstein, especially when he's talking about a cornerstone of his own work. Puzzling, baffling, strange. It's almost poetic, and it tells you just how deeply weird the behavior of light seemed, even to him.
So that's the big question, right? What was so bizarre, so strange about light that it could stump a mind like Einstein's? Today, we're diving into a critique that says modern physics actually took a major wrong turn at this very moment of confusion.
To really get a handle on this critique, we need to start with something super simple, a thought experiment that's all about common sense. And it's a world away from Einstein's strange light.
Okay, forget all the complex physics for a minute. The argument kicks off with an idea we can all picture. Don't think of light as a wave or some mysterious particle. Just imagine it's a simple, predictable ball.
So in this view of the world, everything just makes sense. You've got your light particle bouncing back and forth, and even though that whole setup is whipping through space on Earth, the particle comes right back to where it started. Perfectly predictable. There is absolutely nothing puzzling or strange going on here. It's just good old-fashioned classical physics.
So how does this simple ball experiment become the foundation for a huge critique of modern physics? Well, it's held up as the perfect example of what physics should be, a stark contrast to what it actually became. And here we go. This is the main accusation from the source material. The argument is that instead of figuring out why light behaved so weirdly, always moving at the exact same speed no matter what, Einstein just sort of accepted it. This really gets to the core of it. The idea is that Einstein took this unexplained quirk of the universe, this glitch in the system, and instead of trying to fix it or explain it, he made it the foundation for everything else, specifically his theories of relativity.
So if you look at it from this perspective, modern physics isn't built on a solid, understood foundation. It's built on a mystery. It's kind of like building an incredible skyscraper on a foundation that just floats. You can't explain why it floats, but you know it's always there, so you just keep building on top of it.
And this is it. This is the number: 300,000 kilometers per second, the constant speed of light. This is the strange phenomenon at the very heart of this whole debate, the one fact that, according to this critique, was never really explained, just accepted. And that's the real question here, isn't it? Was what Einstein did a stroke of absolute genius? A leap of faith that totally redefined reality? Or was it a fundamental error? A shortcut that dodged the really hard question of why?
So, if Einstein's path is the one we took, what was the alternative? Well, the source material argues for a much older idea, one that actually came from Isaac Newton himself.
Let's talk about the Aether. The basic idea was that space isn't actually empty, it's filled with some kind of invisible, all-pervading substance, and light needs this medium to travel through, kind of like how sound needs air to travel. To make this old idea a little easier to grasp, the source offers up a really cool modern analogy. Think of the ether like a universal mobile network for light signals. It's the invisible infrastructure that's just everywhere, giving light a physical way to get from A to B. From this point of view, the ether wasn't some silly, outdated fantasy. Not at all. It was a serious scientific theory that tried to provide a real, physical cause for how light moves. It offered a mechanical explanation that would have fit perfectly with the simple logic of that ball experiment. It gave an answer, not just an observation. You can really feel the passion behind this critique in the language they use. Now, the ether theory was pretty much abandoned after a famous experiment in the late 1800s couldn't find it. But the source here says it was morally outrageous to toss out the entire logical system of Newtonian physics just because of that one result. The argument is that the baby was thrown out with the bathwater. Okay, let's zoom out and bring this all together. What we're really looking at here is not just some debate about light and physics, it's a fundamental clash between two totally different philosophies of what science is even supposed to be doing. On one side, you have the classical way of thinking. It demands a how. It says physics has to give us an intuitive, mechanical explanation that we can actually picture in our heads, like that bouncing ball. But on the other side, you've got the modernist approach that Einstein pioneered. It says, hey, it's totally okay to build our theories on things we observe to be true, even if we can't fully explain the why behind them yet.
So it really boils down to this, doesn't it? One side demands a physical mechanism, a cause. The other is willing to accept a foundational mystery and build on the effect. It's a battle between seeking a cause versus building on an effect.
And this leaves us with a really fascinating and honestly a pretty profound question about what science is all about. Is its true purpose to build theories only on the things we can fully mechanically explain from the ground up? Or is the real leap forward to accept what we can prove, what we observe again and again, and build from there, even if it feels a little bit strange?